Hey everyone, so today we're going to talk about the function random, and random is a function that belongs to Numpy. So in order to write random, we have to import Numpy first. So Numpy as MP. So the first one is the most basic one, random.random. So Numpy, you always have to write the MP first, random.random, and then we put number 3 here, then print. So as we can see that we have 3 numbers output. So 3 means 3 numbers. And what if we want to print out the array style? So it's not only 1 row, but say 3 rows. And so we have to write the small bracket inside the bracket, and then put a number 3 here. So that means 3 rows and 3 columns, as we can see. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. And that's the most basic one. The second one we're going to talk about is pretty much similar as random.random. It's called random.rand. So numpy.random.rand. And so let's try again. So 3 by 3, and then print B, C, and we have errors. And the reason is that for the random.rand, we don't need the small bracket here. So just 1 bracket will be enough. So 3 by 3, and then let's try again. So as we can see, the first 3 by 3 array is from the random.random, and the second 3 by 3 is from the random.rand. So they basically output the same thing. And then you may wonder now, so what's the difference between these two except the bracket? And well, okay, let me comment this out first. Think about, what if you want to have the extra set of the 3 by 3 array over here? So this is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3 by 3, and then I want another 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So we cannot do this with random.random, but it's very simple to do it in random.rand. So say we want to have 2 sets of this. We just add the number 2 in the front, and then we can output 2 sets of the 3 by 3. And now what if we want to have the extra one? Let's make it 3. So now it's 1, 2, 3. So we have 3 sets of the 3 by 3 array. Pretty simple, right? And then you may already notice that for both the, let me put this back. So this is the random.rand for the variable A, and then the 3 below is for the variable B. And we may already have noticed that every single value here is a positive number. So we have no negative numbers. And what if I want to have the negative numbers for the 3 sets here? And it's actually very, very simple. We just have to add 1 letter N behind. So I like to think of the letter N for negative. In this way, we have, as you can see, we have both negative and positive numbers. So that's the difference between the random.rand and random.rand N. Very simple, right? And the next thing we're gonna talk about is the random.rand int. So c equal to numpy.random dot rand int. So int stands for integer, so we can randomly output the integers here, and in order to do that we need to give it a range. So what do you want your integer between? So say I want my integer to be ranged between 1 to 10, so I put 1 to 10 here and then print it out. So as we can see, this time it output 1, and then do it again, 1, 5, 8. So they all 1, 5, 8 are all between 1 to 10. Actually it's 1 to 9, because as we all know that Python counts from 0, so if it's 1 to 10 here, it actually counts from 0 to 9. And what if I want to have the array of say 3 by 3? So instead of just like one value here, and this also really simple, so we just put a size 3 and 3, so that means 3 rows and 3 columns, and then let's output. So as we can see that there's 3 rows and 3 columns here, and every single value inside is in between 1 to 9. And then the next thing we're going to talk about is random.choice. Alright, this is slightly tricky compared to the first few, but it's actually quite easy to understand. So choice means that we can choose from the existing data that we had. So first let's create the data list name. So let's name it name list. So in the name list we have different names: Bob, Andy, Alex. Actually we already have the one starts from A, so yeah, let me change to another one. Michael, and then alright, I'm running out of names. Tony. Okay, cool. And then so we can start to write our random.choice function. Okay, so the first thing is that what size do we want to give to the random.choice? Let's say we want to have another, let's say 3 by 3, so 3 rows and 3 column size. Size is the same thing, so then it's gonna output like this: 3 rows and 3 columns. And then since we want to output the names from the name list, and then we have to let the computer know that okay, so we want to get the names from the name list, so we have to put the name list here for it to know that these are the values I want to get and output here. So right now we have the name list and we have the size, and then we can also set the probabilities that we want to output for each of the value in the list. For example, okay, I'll write this first. So P is stand for probability, and let's give it a list like this. So 1, 0, 0, and 0. So that means each of the probability here So the maximum probability is 100%, which can write as 1. So each of the percentage here, it represents each name. So 1 it stands for 1 is for Bob, and 0 is for Andy, and then 0 is for Michael, and the last one is for Tony. So in this way, since we give 1 to Bob, that means the output values, the chance for Bob to output is 100%. So let's print it out. Comment this one. Oops. Yeah. So see, it's the 3 rows and 3 columns, and every single value that printed out here is Bob, because the probability is 100%. And what if we want to give some chance to other names? So let's say we give Bob 0.5, so 50% chance, and we give the second one is for Andy. We give Andy another like 30%, so 50% plus 30%, and then there's extra 20%. Then we give it to, say, the last one, we give it to Tony. Okay, and then we can output this right now. So as we can see that the percentage starts to change. So now we have 50% of the chance for Bob to output, and 30% for Andy, and then still 0 for Michael. So there's no Michael here. But Tony, do we have Tony? No, we don't. But let's try again. And still no. Okay, let's try again. And this time we do have Tony, because it has 20%, so it doesn't appear as much as the other two. But basically, this is what we're gonna talk about today, and thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.